don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Ask me again.
Ministry can be shared amongst others with the people you love at any given point, and I think that's very sacramental, and that shifted my faith experience and my relationship with God. Just sitting in Miss Watts' room eating lunch with my friends to different moments like laughing in class and sharing different memories with my friends has become so sacramental for me, and it's only strengthened my relationship with not only my peers but also my relationship with Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I would say before I came to Ed's, I didn't really know much about my faith, and I was not concerned but curious, and I kind of got all the answers that I was looking for sure.
I would say faith was present like when I realized around like my sophomore year. I was like, I know people here have my back, and like I'm not going to let them down.
I think going in, a lot of students have like a view of like their faith life, like it's just been what they've been told their entire life, and like they've just accepted it or like fully rejected it. And I think St. Ed's helps you find like a middle path to like making your own faith.
One of the things that I've like learned, especially like recently, because in the senior year we do have the world religions class, is just how diverse religions are, but also how like interconnected they are in a way.
You know, when I came to Ed's, I was like one of the only Muslims that I knew, but there was a lot of obviously Catholics, but also other Christians around me, and I engaged with a lot of meaningful conversations with them that really helped me to understand that people are curious, and so am I, to understand what other people what people believe and what they think about their own religion, and that kind of helped me to be mindful of their religion.
I feel like St. Ed's was able to kind of enlighten my heart and kind of change who I am on the inside. I've been able to kind of grow deeper in my faith and deeper in my relationships with the people around me.
What I learned most is that my faith is really driven by relationships and love and the desire to build relationships and make an impact on people and let people make an impact on me.
I'm a wrestler, athletic guy, so just purely from athletics, I mean, we have football state championships 3 in a row, wrestling state championships 4 in a row. We were sending guys to colleges, and I mean, that's the goal here at Ed's.
I think the school is just so focused on success and this aspect of brotherhood that, success is just, what we deem here as normal.
Being a part of the IBDP program, from coming in my freshman, sophomore year and not taking a single honors class to going straight into that diploma program, was definitely something that was very difficult at first, but once you started to get the hang of it, kind of showed that being hardworking and putting all this time and effort into school pays off in the end.
It's shared humanity. There's a shared work ethic here. Staying up late doing homework. A lot of us are in the weight room early mornings, practice after school, and just so much goes into one high school day.
As soon as I walk in the doors in the morning, to see Mr. Williams standing there greeting everyone when they walk in, that's a really big thing. I see excellence there because that's a very welcoming kind of sense that as soon as you walk into the building, you see a teacher there, a theology teacher specifically, and you walk in and you feel welcomed.
Excellence isn't this thing that has to be put on a pedestal or that's so unachievable. It's excellence can just be being a good friend or being a good, brother to, the guys you go to school.
I guess being surrounded by the guys at St. Ed's, we're kind of constantly driving each other to be excellent. And kind of that constant drive and push from your brothers allows you to it allows us to succeed higher than other schools because we have that brotherhood and that drive.
I define excellence in the context of St. Ed's as not just one particular thing. Many people think we're a powerhouse school, but excellence is within sports, it's within the academic field, it's within your clubs, it's within everything. It's just being not excellent in one particular way, but in all ways of just being a man, being an excellent man to your family, to your friends, and I just feel like it's a well-rounded term.
I feel like when you surround yourself with certain people, you see what they're doing, and it inspires you to do those things yourself.
Like everyone here is trying to be like the best they can be, whether that's like in academics or clubs or sports like that. Like the teachers and all the students are just striving to be their best and be excellent in their own way.
Just watching people like sharing each other's humanity and just be there like for each other consistently every day. People talking to each other in the halls. I see like joking, I see crying, I see all those sorts of things in between in the hallways every day, and I think that's just like those 5-minute periods in between classes that can say so much about like a school.
Even just the 5 minutes you see each other in the hallway, those relationships are the ones I'm gonna remember. You know what I'm saying? The ones that like I may not get to spend all my time with you, but when I'm spending my time with you, I'm happy for it. So
everybody comes to value the brotherhood more as their time goes on here, and you really always see that shine with the seniors, because that's when it finally sets in the most.
I feel like the relationships I've built have formed brothers that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I think my brothers here really push me and challenge me to do things that I'm not as comfortable with, which helps me grow as an individual.
And any time that I've been struggling through a class, it's, I've just gone asked the teacher a couple questions, and, they drop anything to help you. All the teachers aren't going to push you off.
I'm not sure if I could choose one. All the teachers are great. But if I had to choose one, I guess Mr. Barrett, because he's cool.
But like the relationships that have surprised me the most are with, I'd say for sure teachers, because like I never thought I'd have like a good relationship with a teacher in terms of like student-teacher rapport, and coming in like a personal relationship where like you're learning from them and they're learning from you.
They are people that I look up to and who have positively impacted my life because of what they've told me, of how they've acted, or how I've interacted with them throughout my 4 years here at St. Ed's.
In the beginning, like freshman year, I was like all alone. I had like maybe 1 or 2 friends that came from my original school to St. Ed's, and honestly I was kind of lost. I felt like I had no place, and definitely the brotherhood, like especially the friends that I met during all my classes that I've had here and all the people that I've met through the St. Ed's experience has definitely helped me like almost like awaken a second like life in me.
Don't be afraid to be yourself, because people like you.
I would say that it's changed more so from doing something for someone to doing something with someone. So like one of my big things that I was into, especially like sophomore year, was Labra and Labra ministry. Just kind of realizing that you're not there just to give them food, leave, give food, leave. It was more so having a meal and having a relationship with those people, interacting with them.
My junior and senior year, I went to West Virginia, and that trip is run by Mr. Allen. We take a group of guys down, and we work with Habitat for Humanity to either build or rebuild a home for somebody who either otherwise doesn't have one. After you're done with that service experience, knowing that what you have done has given someone else hope for their future, it's incredible.
Yeah, so I did some service at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, and there was this guy who was probably about 80 years old, and he was there with his granddaughter, and he said he does service every single week. You know what I mean? And I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, if he's 80 years old, he's doing service every single week, like, there's no excuse for me to not, just not help or do any type of service at all.
Service at St. Ed's is pretty life-changing for me. Like, the only service I've really done has been Labra, and I'm telling you, like, the first time I did Labra, it really kind of opened my eyes up more to the reality of, like, our world, like, what Cleveland really is, and, that people are all around us and they're suffering and they might not be seen.
But then being able to do Labra gave me this open-mindedness to see that we are all alike. We have so many similarities. And being able to do service like that, it's made me more empathetic to everybody to realize that we are all children of God. We are all just human beings, and we all need to be open arms with each other.
Favorite Mr. Allen moment?
For me, all of them. They're all the best. I love them so much. Probably every Wednesday when I ask them to go to Dave & Buster's. That's probably my favorite. Every week I look forward to it.
Which teacher would survive the longest there was a zombie infection at the school?
Ooh, I think I have to go Coach Pappas. I think he's got, a entire briefcase full of, just rules if something like that goes down. He's got a bunker under his house. I think he's probably got one of those. But
Coach Pappas, he's gonna find our way to Atlantis and we'll be safe there.
I would have to say Mr. Pappas. His conspiracy theories, some might be true, but I feel like he knows a lot about the zombie apocalypse.
I'd probably say Mr. Tubbs. No one's getting inside his room. He'll bop you.
Coach Sullivan. Coach Sullivan for government.
I'm gonna say Mr. Corrigan.
I had no place, and definitely the brotherhood, like especially the friends that I met during all my classes that I've had here, and all the people that I've met through the St. Ed's experience has definitely helped me almost awaken a second life in me.
Don't be afraid to be yourself because people like you.
I would say that it's changed more so from doing something for someone to doing something with someone. So one of my big things that I was into, especially sophomore year, was Labra and Labra ministry. Just kind of realizing that you're not there just to give them food, leave, give food, leave. It was more so having a meal and having a relationship with those people, interacting with them.
My junior and senior year, I went to West Virginia, and that trip is run by Mr. Allen. We take a group of guys down and we work with Habitat for Humanity to either build or rebuild a home for somebody who otherwise doesn't have one. After you're done with that service experience, knowing that what you have done has given someone else hope for their future, it's incredible.
Yeah, so I did some service at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, and there was this guy who was probably about 80 years old, and he was there with his granddaughter, and he said he does service every single week. You know what I mean? And I'm in my head, I'm thinking if he's 80 years old, he's doing service every single week. There's no excuse for me to not, you know what I mean, just not help or do any type of service at all.
Service at St. Ed's is pretty life-changing for me. The only service I've really done has been Labra, and I'm telling you, the first time I did Labra, it really kind of opened my eyes up more to the reality of our world, what Cleveland really is, and that people are all around us and they're suffering and they might not be seen.
But then being able to do Labra gave me this open-mindedness to see that we are all alike. We have so many similarities, and being able to do service like that, it's made me more empathetic to everybody to realize that we are all children of God. We are all just human beings, and we all need to be open arms with each other.
Favorite Mr. Allen moment?
For me, all of them. They're all the best. I love them so much. Probably every Wednesday when I ask them to go to Dave & Buster's. That's probably my favorite. Every week I look forward to it.
Which teacher would survive the longest there was a zombie infection at the school?
Ooh, I think I have to go Coach Pappas. I think he's got, an entire briefcase full of, just rules if something like that goes down. He's got a bunker under his house. I think he's probably got one of those. But
Coach Pappas, he's gonna find our way to Atlantis and we'll be safe there.
I would have to say Mr. Pappas. his conspiracy theories, some might be true, but I feel like he knows a lot about the zombie apocalypse.
I'd probably say Mr. Tubbs. No one's getting inside his room. He'll bop you.
Coach Sullivan. Coach Sullivan for government.
I'm gonna say Mr. Corrigan. Mr. Corrigan is a pretty smart, crazy guy, you know.
Come on, you know who I'm gonna say. Mr. Allen. Because he's the best. Like, that's kind of it. Like, I know he would know everything. He would be like my little guardian angel. That's what I know.
Oh, if aliens invade from the sky, I'm going to introduce myself. Like, straight up.
Diplomatic.
I feel like the only way for me to survive is giving them a handshake, saying, I'm here for you.
If you went to a deserted island and could bring one food item from the commons and one teacher, what teacher would you bring and what food item would you bring?
What teacher would I bring and what food item? I would probably definitely say the chicken nuggets. You know, you got to get your protein in. I would probably say Coach Augie. You know, we could survive. We could cut down some trees. You know, we could, I think we could make a little raft, maybe get back to safety.
Dude, that's not even a question.
Mr. Mertens and Straboli! Yes!
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I don't know. I think I'd take a perfect memory. You know what I'm saying? That I could remember everything that I did here, so that way I can always look back and remember the good times and learn from the bad times. So I'd take a perfect memory, definitely.
See you, St. Ed's. That was so funny. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Ask me again.
Ministry can be shared amongst others with the people you love at any given point. And I think that's very sacramental, and that shifted my faith experience and my relationship with God. Just sitting in Miss Watts' room eating lunch with my friends to different moments like laughing in class and sharing different memories with my friends has become so sacramental for me. And it's only strengthened my relationship with not only my peers, but also my relationship with Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I would say before I came to Ed's, I didn't really know much about my faith, and I was not concerned but curious, and I kind of got all the answers that I was looking for sure.
I would say faith was present like when I realized around like my sophomore year. I was like, I know people here have my back, and like I'm not gonna let them down.
I think going in, a lot of students have like a view of like their faith life, like it's just been what they've been told their entire life, and like they've just accepted it or like fully rejected it. And I think St. Ed's helps you find like a middle path to like making your own faith.
One of the things that I've like learned, especially like recently, because in the senior year we do have the world religions class, is just how diverse religions are, but also how like interconnected they are in a way.
You know, when I came to Ed's, I was like one of the only Muslims that I knew, but there was a lot of obviously Catholics, but also other Christians around me, and I engaged with a lot of meaningful conversations with them that really helped me to understand that people are curious, and so am I, to understand what other people what people believe and what they think about their own religion, and that kind of helped me to be mindful of their religion.
I feel like St. Ed's was able to kind of enlighten my heart and kind of change who I am on the inside. I've been able to kind of grow deeper in my faith and deeper in my relationships with the people around me.
What I learned most is that my faith is really driven by relationships and love and the desire to build relationships and make an impact on people and let people make an impact on me.
I'm a wrestler, athletic guy, so just purely from athletics, I mean, we have football state championships 3 in a row, wrestling state championships 4 in a row. We were sending guys to colleges, and I mean, that's the goal here at Eds.
I think the school is just so focused on success and this aspect of brotherhood that, success is just, what we deem here as normal.
Being a part of the IBDP program, from coming in my freshman sophomore year and not taking a single honors class to going straight into that diploma program, was definitely something that was very difficult at first, but once you started the hang of it, kind of showed that being hardworking and putting all this time and effort into school pays off in the end.
It's shared humanity. There's a shared work ethic here. Staying up late doing homework. A lot of us are in the weight room early mornings, practice after school, and just so much goes into one high school day.
As soon as I walk in the doors in the morning, to see Mr. Williams standing there greeting everyone when they walk in, that's a really big thing. I see excellence there because that's a very welcoming kind of sense that as soon as you walk into the building, you see a teacher there, a theology teacher specifically, and you walk in and you feel welcomed.
Excellence isn't this thing that has to be put on a pedestal or that's so unachievable. It's excellence can just be being a good friend or being a good, brother to, the guys you go to school.
I guess being surrounded by the guys at St. Ed's, we're kind of constantly driving each other to be excellent. And kind of that constant drive and push from your brothers allows you to it allows us to succeed higher than other schools because we have that brotherhood and that drive.
I define excellence in the context of St. Ed's as not just one particular thing. Many people think we're a powerhouse school, but excellence is within sports, it's within the academic field, it's within your clubs, it's within everything. It's just being not excellent in one particular way, but in all ways of just being a man, being an excellent man to your family, to your friends, and I just feel like it's a well-rounded term.
I feel when you surround yourself with certain people, you see what they're doing and it inspires you to do those things yourself.
Everyone here is trying to be the best they can be, whether that's in academics or clubs or sports like that. The teachers and all the students are just striving to be their best and be excellent in their own way.
Just watching people sharing each other's humanity and just be there for each other consistently every day. People talking to each other in the halls. I see joking, I see crying, I see all those sorts of things in between in the hallways every day, and I think that's just those 5-minute periods in between classes can say so much about a school.
Even just the 5 minutes you see each other in the hallway, those relationships are the ones I'm gonna remember. You know what I'm saying? The ones that I may not get to spend all my time with you, but when I'm spending my time with you, I'm happy for it. So
Everybody comes to value the brotherhood more as their time.
We begin our academic awards night for the class of 2024 with a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving, tender, merciful God, help us to imitate you in this world, to be compassionate, loving, and kind. Bless this celebration, these graduating seniors, this family gathered together to surround them with love and support. We gather in deep thanksgiving for the St. Edward community, especially for the inspiring witness of the St. Edward class of 2024. We stand in awe-filled gratitude for their success in the classroom, but most importantly, for their commitment to the Holy Cross mission of St. Edward High School, to love tenderly, and in doing so, to bring the hope of the resurrection to everyone, especially to the marginalized and the readily despised in our world. Inspire them and all of us to widen the circle of tenderness so that nobody is outside of it, to love without counting the cost, to have the competence to see and the courage to act. Help them to recognize and celebrate the little moments of grace that happen every day, all the time. Come, Holy Spirit, come quickly. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. And now I introduce the principal of St. Edward High School, Mr. Matthew Stepnowski.
Usually only Mrs. Harden and my mother call me Matthew Stepnowski, so thank you, Mr. Williams. I love watching that video. I think that might be the best one that Ms. Munnell and the film students have put together. I just love it when you get to hear our students talk about the life that they got to share together here with all of us. And this senior class specifically is really special to me. I know we don't talk about COVID anymore, but it's pretty incredible to think about how their lives started at St. Ed's. Their 8th grade year was taken away from them at the end, and they came to a school that isn't like the school that they're leaving. You know, we had to take extreme measures to make sure that they could come to school, but they were masked and the schedule was different, and they persevered, and now they're here today to be honored by their parents and their guardians and their friends and their teachers. And you know, what's really special about tonight absolutely is all the accomplishments that we're going to celebrate, all the incredibly hard work and the hours and the knowledge and the thinking. But what are we going to do next, I think, is the most important question that we have to ask. You know, why did we share this time together? Why did we put in all this work? And I was thinking about St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians as I was thinking about tonight when he writes, "If I speak in human and angelic tongues, but I do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and comprehend all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have all faith so as to move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing." Which brings me back to my original question. Why did we share this time together? Why did we put in all this work? And I would posit that the world needs you. You know, I've been saying this for years. Anybody who's here tonight who had me in freshman English, I really mean it when I say it. I fully believe that you guys are going to save the world. I can't imagine that any of us love the direction that things are going, the strife, the contention, the discourse in the world today. And if you look at these young men and everything that they had to say tonight, I really believe that they get it. When I see them talk to each other, when I see them care for each other, I think that they know they're called to something more than simple worldly accomplishments and awards. In Tattoos on the Heart, Father Greg Boyle writes about the concept of kinship. And he says, kinship, not serving the other, but being one with the other. Jesus was not a man for others. He was one with them. There's a world of difference in that. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the theme this year is with them and of them, because that's what we're all called to be. We're not going to advance our state, our country, our world if we go off into separate corners and just write people off because they think differently than us. You are all young men who are called by God, your parents, your guardians, your teachers, your friends, to be with them and of them. All of us collectively can change the world. The question is, do any of us have the courage to do that? And I believe that our students do. I quoted a Disney movie last year, and I'm just trying out if I'm going to keep that a tradition for as long as I'm principal. And last year it was a more obscure Hercules. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that, We're going with Moana this year. I love Moana. It was one of the earliest Disney movies I saw with my daughters when they were little. And if you remember the movie, the goddess Te-Fiti, her heart has become polluted. She's not herself. She's become this monster. And I think about the world today in that context. And when she reaches her destination, she simply says, or sings because it's a Disney movie, "This is not who you are. You know who you are. You guys know who you are. You know who you're called to be." Father Boyle also writes about compassion, saying compassion isn't just about feeling the pain of others. It's about bringing them in towards yourself. If we love what God loves, then in compassion, margins get erased. Be compassionate as God is compassionate. Means dismantling all barriers that exclude. It's impossible for me to think about awards night without thinking of Mr. Cavali. Any of you who have been to awards night before, anybody who knows Mr. Cavali had him in class, he loved awards night. He would be trying to find every excuse to find another award for another student 5 minutes before the ceremony began, and would vigorously be shaking their arms out of their sockets when he had every opportunity to do so. And I bring him up in the context of everything that I've said so far, because Mr. Cavali was brilliant. He was the smartest man I've ever met in my life. He was the valedictorian of his high school. He was the valedictorian of his college. He was a polyglot, self-taught in up to 6 languages. And I don't think any of that mattered to him, and none of that mattered to me. That's not why he impacted my life. I wrote this to the faculty, I believe, maybe to you students as well. When I first met him, I thought he was a maniac. I thought he was crazy. His energy was frenetic, and he was so interested in the person that he was talking to. I've never met a human more present in my life. What made him so impactful to the world and to this community and to me personally was the love that he so authentically, unapologetically, and unembarrassingly shared with everyone that he met. If you were in his presence for 5 minutes, you felt like the most important person in the world. And if he never saw you again for 30 years, he knew your name the day that he saw you. So, as we celebrate all of your accomplishments tonight, I ask you again, what are you going to do with those accomplishments? What are you going to go and do when you go out into the world? Because that's what matters. And I know that you are going to change the world for the better, and I am thankful that I got to spend this time with you. I'm now going to welcome Mr. Corcoran and Mr. Kuhar to the stage for our honorary awards and our memorial awards.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start with the Jeff Morton College Counseling Book Award. This award is presented to a senior who is intellectually curious, positive, and affirming, one who exemplifies the 4 pillars of Holy Cross formation throughout the college search, application, and discernment process. This year's recipient is Minjin Kim. The James J. Nieberding Award is presented to a student who has shown commitment to the study of American government and has demonstrated civic responsibility. James J. Nieberding was the History Department chair for more than 35 years and founder of the St. Edward Council on World Affairs. He believed that each of us can make a difference in this world and taught his students to give back to the community in any way they could. This award honors his legacy and continuing service to the St. Edward community. This year's recipient is Lucas Kuchera. The Brother William Kleinenberg CSE Senior English Award is presented to a senior for academic excellence in English. Brother William CSE was a member of the faculty at St. Edward early in the school's history. As chairman of the English department, he helped establish the tone of academic rigor that characterizes the English department to this day. This award is dedicated to his memory. This year's recipient is Raymond Weber.
The William Thompson Senior Mathematics Award is presented to a senior who has demonstrated a particular excellence in mathematical advancement and displayed clear thinking, a logical approach to problem solving, and self-discipline. This award is given in memory of Mr. William Thompson, a beloved math teacher who died tragically on January 24th, 1984. This year's recipient is Minjun Kim. The Jamie McManaman Golden Eagle Award is presented to one senior each year. The student selected is chosen based on his accomplishments and excellence in the areas of academics, citizenship, leadership, Christian values, athletic participation, and extracurricular activities. Jamie McManaman, class of 2003, embodied the spirit of the Golden Eagle Award and was a recipient of this award in 2003. He died tragically on May 13th, 2004. This award honors his memory. The recipient of the 2024 Jamie McManaman Award is Casey Bullock.
It's my great pleasure and honor to offer the James Wallenhorst Class of 1974 Award of Excellence, named in honor for my dad. This is award to a senior who embodies the spirit of our Holy Cross mission and is presented to someone who has a legacy of unwavering dedication, boundless passion, and selflessness, being a man with hope to bring to his class. It is my honor to offer this award to Matt Doherty. I'd like to now introduce and call up the family and members of the Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation to the stage.
Good evening. My name is Tracy Swan, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of the Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation. The Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation was founded in the memory of Bryson and who he was, to be his voice for mental health, suicide awareness, and the research for neurological effects of COVID-19. Bryce loved his friends. He loved this school. He really did love St. Ed's. And he was there to help anyone in any way. Whether he knew you or not, you had a friend. You've got a friend in me is the message that we continue to spread in his memory. As you continue your future endeavors, we encourage you to do the same. We also encourage you to be kind, to be thoughtful, and most importantly, never hide from what you're feeling. I can promise you, it is normal, it is okay, and most importantly, you matter. I also want to take a moment and thank the St. Edward's staff for their commitment to mental health awareness. Not only does it mean a lot to the Gray family, but is such impact for each and every one of the students that come through this school. So with that being said, on behalf of the foundation, the Gray family, it is my honor to present the 2024 recipients of the Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation Scholarship. Congratulations to Sean Taylor and Joseph Albana.
Next, I would like to call up to the stage Isaac Jameson. Isaac has made the big decision to do something greater, not only for himself, but his country and his future career. Isaac has chosen to attend Penn State University on an ROTC scholarship, which includes 4 years room and board at Penn State. Petty Officer 2nd Class Alejandro Morales is here to present Isaac with a check for over $200,000 to attend Penn State University and be a part of the NROTC. Congratulations to Isaac. The Chick Evans Scholarship for Caddies is a full tuition and housing 4-year scholarship for golf caddies. For more than 90 years, the Western Golf Association has overseen the Evans Scholarship Program, which is among the nation's largest privately funded scholarship programs. It is named in honor of legendary amateur golfer Chick Evans, whose charitable legacy was to help send deserving caddies to college. Applicants are evaluated and selected based on 4 criteria: strong caddy record, excellent academics, financial need, and outstanding character. Christopher Marquardt, who caddies at Westwood Country Club in Westlake, will be one of only 320 new Evans Scholars across the country to start their college education in the fall. He will be attending The Ohio State University, where he looks to pursue economics and business analytics. Congratulations to Chris. It is now my pleasure to call to the podium Coach Tom Lombardo, who will introduce our next Man of the Year nominee, Casey Bullock. Casey, if you want to come forward with your family as well.
Good evening. It is my privilege to introduce Robert Casey Bullock for Man of the Year. From Old Trail School, he is the son of Dave and Betsy, younger brother of Ben, proud member of the brotherhood that is St. Edward High School, future Davidson Wildcat, a true scholar athlete, student body president, football captain, and 2-time state champion quarterback. Casey has been a poster child for the standards that exemplify an Edsman. Please turn your attention to the short film that documents Casey's journey through high school.
From the moment I met Casey Bullock at our quarterback academy the summer entering his 8th grade year, and all during his freshman year at St. Edward during the Cova saga of 2020, I knew we had an Edsman personified. Confident yet humble, a leader yet ready to follow coaching, intelligent yet wanting to learn, strong yet meek. As one contemplates our student behavioral expectations that are guided by our 7 Edsman standards of grit, character, accountability, respect, trust, self-sacrifice, and family, one cannot help but see Casey Bullock. Let's start with grit. Is there a grittier student athlete than Casey Bullock? Along with being the head coach of the football team, I was also Casey's individual quarterback position coach. So I got to know Casey intimately well over his 4 years. Casey's record on the football field as a starting quarterback at all levels was an astonishing 43-1. Casey did not accomplish all these feats with talent alone. He willed himself and our team to be the best versions of themselves. The grit I am referring to was on full display early in the game of the 2023 state championship. As most may know, Casey suffered a devastating knee injury during week 4 of the season against Cincinnati Elder. He would go on to miss 5 more games at different points in the season. It was the same injury Patrick Mahomes incurred a few years ago before the Super Bowl. On the Monday before the state title game, Casey came to my office to meet with me. I remember the conversation vividly. He said, "Coach, I will do whatever it takes to win this game." Up to this point, I had been careful in my play calling with him to protect his knee. I said, "Are you sure you can do this?" He replied, "Coach, we are winning this game, no matter what it takes. whatever we have to do. The situation presented itself for this play to be called on Springfield's 13-yard line. It works beautifully, and Casey pulls the ball and is running toward the goal line. Two defenders size him up on about the 5-yard line as he was going in to score. Casey could have easily gone out of bounds to protect himself. Instead, the 2-year captain, with the team upmost on his mind, put his shoulder down and with great determination ran over the two defenders for the touchdown. That one play ignited our team, and the rest is history. I knew right then we would not lose that game and complete a three-peat. That's grit. Remember, a powerful motivation to achieve an objective. That's a leader. That's a champion. Over the course of his varsity career, Casey threw for 3,500 yards, completing 230 passes with 29 touchdowns. He also rushed for 1,600 yards with 10 rushing touchdowns. He was voted captain by his teammates both his junior and senior year, which is a rarity at St. Ed's. He's the only quarterback in St. Ed's history to lead his team to 2 state titles. In addition to all that, he led her 2 years in baseball.
I have my favorite memory of Casey it was December of 2022, and I said to him before he left, I said, Casey, just remember that your worth as a human being is not predicated on the score of a game. And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, my life depends on this game. And I laughed out loud. That was my favorite Casey memory.
With the same rugged tenacity, Casey attacks his academics. He is a 4.4 student while taking many high-level honors and AP classes. Coach Lev, his AP Econ teacher, remarks, Casey cares about learning because he wants to gain knowledge, but more importantly, he appreciates the value of the process. His organizational skills are excellent, and his study habits are consistent. He has an appropriate sense of humor, thick skin, and empathy for others. Casey will take these skills and habits to the renowned Davidson College, where he will also play football. While that may be enough for most students, Casey didn't stop there. As a freshman, he was chosen for the prestigious Forward Scholar Award. Junior year, he was vice president of his class. And senior year, he was president of the school. He went on a faith retreat this past summer at Notre Dame, where he did service projects, and as he stated, learned the importance faith has on leadership skills and the value of listening as a leader, which tied into our service because we must listen to and learn about the people we are serving.
He's part of the face of St. Ed's, but he's also, and even more importantly, part of the heart of St. Ed's. And I've rarely seen students do that. Casey's one of one in that regard. And it almost feels like he'd rather be part of the heart of his class and the heart of St. Ed's than he'd be part of the face of St. Ed's.
The 7 standards of an Edsman, which were created in 2017, were meant to be used as a guide to form our students on how they should act and live out the mission. And Casey took them to heart, to mean something to him, to apply them on a daily basis, to model them, and not just give them lip service. In addition to grit explained earlier, he lived out the other standards as well. Casey's character cannot be refuted. I've never seen in my coaching career a more respected player by his peers, as shown by all the leadership positions he has held.
Being with him so much through football, it just really showed like the true and real person that he is. He was always like the first one there, always the last one to leave. I mean, he wanted to make sure that we're a team. He wanted to make sure we all had bonds and friendships.
One could trust that Casey would do what he said he would do. He sacrificed on a daily basis by getting his work done in the classroom, never missing a workout or a practice, or all the rehab he had to do to come back from his injury. And finally, the most important thing in Casey's life is his family. He and his older brother, Ben, were raised beautifully by their parents, Dave and Betsy, and that is what truly drives Casey to be his best. What he learned from his own family, he carried over to his extended Eagle family and made them his own. Finally, Casey has epitomized our school pillar of relationships. He calls it brotherhood. He claims that's the most important thing to him. But the ironic part is that he wasn't always that guy. Admittedly, Casey blossomed into that role.
And that translates through everything throughout his life. I mean, seeing him outside of school too, it's, he doesn't really change. He's still that good kid that you see every day. He's a gentleman. He holds a door open for people. all around just a really, a good person. And he's just a really special example of that because of the position that he's been put in.
Because of that dedication to the school's pillars and standards, Casey subtly transformed himself to the Edsman he is today. While there will be voted only one Man of the Year, Casey, in a very real way, on a daily basis, lived out the qualities that we all want in our Man of the Year. And because of that modeling and charisma, Casey earned the respect of and helped form many more men of St. Edward.
Casey Bullock is one of the most energy givers I've ever been around. Whether it's his smile, that's what I'll remember the most is his smile. Because even if he's having the worst day when his knee blows out after a game, he's smiling and he's giving energy. Mm-hmm. And I think to Mr. Barrett's point, that's what makes him part of the heart of St. Edward.
Thank you, Casey Bullock.
Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance.
Good evening. I will now present the Scholastic Achievement Awards for honors for the class of 2024. Joey Baker, Lucas Bober. You gentlemen can come up when your name is called. Joseph Bobenchek, Cameron Boone, Carson Bowman, Joseph Chicha, Christopher Cuccia, Joshua Davidson, Dominic Florio, Alexander Glista, William Graham, Brendan Green, James Hyduck, Caleb Heckel, Calvin Henthorn, Bobby Hopkins, Jeffrey Lapsevich, Max McClellan, Timothy Mohar, Brian Ramsey, Finn Ridnour, Jacob Robinson, Nicholas Ross, Nicholas Snow, Sean Taylor, John Villegas, Omar Wadan. Your 2024 Scholastic Achievement Award honors recipients. If you now turn your page, it's a long one here. I got chosen to do it, so I feel honored. I think because I was high honors every quarter when I was here. The following seniors have demonstrated scholastic excellence, earning high honors for each of the first 3 quarters of the current academic year. Christopher Attia, Braden Luke Barker, Logan Bombick, Thomas Bell, Ryan Bennett, Jalen Blankenship, Caden Bostwick, Baird Bracken, Chase Brown, Casey Bullock, Connor Berg, Francisco Carney, Daniel Serto, Isaac Condrich, James Christino, Nishan Dabadine, Matthew Doherty, Vincent Davis, Colin Detto, Adam Dempsey, Kay Driscoll, Joseph Elvana, Andrew L. Turk, Adam Issa, Luke Farron, Michael Fink, Renell Gall, Joel Garcia, Lucas Gilton, Peter Glovna, Davion Golston, Gavin Goodall, Owen Grieger, Joshua Grottle, John Hogg, Liam Harry, Julian Hauk, Isaac Jameson, Nathan Johnson, Spencer Johnson, Adam Kabara, Brendan Kearns, Justin Kenny, Alexander Kernicek, Minjum Kim, Santana Kincaid, Logan Klaber, Lucas Kuchera, Angelo Kulach, Anthony Kulach, Ryan Coulter, Drew Maley, Zubair Mahmood, Ryan Malou, Christopher Marquardt, Nathan Mosgras, Aidan McGowan, Connor McGurk, Gavin McLaughlin, Miles McLaughlin, Padraig McMahon, Andrew McMacken, John Mendoza, Cooper Manighetti, Isa Muhammad, Max Movius, Abdul Murrah, George Nader, Cameron Nails, Isaac Naris, Benjamin Wynn, Lucas O'Brien, Rocco Paletta, Aiden Parker, Sid Patel, Kyle Quinn, John Redrup, Ben Roebuck, Neil Rogers, Joseph Ryan, John Satanic, Joseph Scarpetti, Sean Church, Luke Shearer, Owen Schultz, Henry Slaby, Adam Smith, Jack Stanovic, Sean Sterling, Alexander Temple, Joseph Tipka, Daniel Tome, Lucas Tresca, Nathan Turco, Gabriel Valor, Dylan Vidmar, George Vlasic, Vincent Waters, Raymond Weber, Jaden Williams, Victor Willock, Aiden Young, Austin Zaremba, Nicholas Zarlinga. Scholastic Achievement Award, high honors.
Next, I would like to welcome back to the stage Mr. Matt Stepnowski to introduce our next Man of the Year candidate, Julian Hauk.
I was going to grab my notes, but my introduction is pretty simple, and Julian already gave me the green light. Julian is the son of Michelle and Christopher Hauk, and he plans to attend the University of Kentucky next year. When I was talking to Julian and his family and preparing for the video that you're about to see, I was asking his parents what led to Julian being the amazing young man that he is. And it was very simple advice that I think is kind of a summation of my opening remarks. Julian's mother, Michelle, told him, don't be an asshole. And faith and family will take care of the rest. And Julian is just an incredible, loving person. He's wanted to be an Eagle his entire life. And he really believes in and lives our pillars every day. And I know that that's why his peers chose to nominate him as a Man of the Year candidate. So now we'll watch a brief video displaying all of Julian's accomplishments at St. Ed's.
It is with great distinction that I introduce Joey Scarpetti, the son of Nancy and Joe, younger brother to Maria and Sarah. In our profession of teaching and coaching, we often find ourselves. It is with great distinction.
Julian Hauk, son of Michelle and Christopher, is an Edsman. He's a man of faith who sees God working consistently throughout his life. He strives for excellence in everything he does. He understands the essential, life-giving nature of relationships, and he knows that the sign of a true leader is the willingness to serve others and consistently put them before himself. When he was a freshman, Julian's English class, inspired by the work of Father Gregory Boyle, discussed how St. Edward is not a place you go to every day, but rather a place you come from, and this resonated with Julian. He reflects that those early discussions were a catalyst that helped him focus and realize that his experience at St. Edward was not just about him. Being excellent is being where your feet are, Julian said to me. Reflecting, my whole life at Eds, I've tried to help people naturally. A lot of small acts of kindness. I'm blessed to have a diverse set of friend groups impacted by sports, classes, faith, and common interests. And to have the opportunity to learn from so many amazing people has changed my life.
I was playing quarterback and he was in the huddle and it's like hard to communicate. I was trying to communicate the play to the huddle and like I just couldn't do it. And like Julian pulled me to the side. He was like, "Hey, like dude, like I've been there, like just like relax, you know." And just that like sense of brotherhood, just having someone there for me, like I never forgot that moment.
Accompaniment is a really great word for Julian and the way that he has, you know, thinking about him in this award and the way that he's lived out the four pillars. I think the way that he's been able to accompany other people, that's been kind of most inspiring for me.
I thought being excellent is being where your feet are was a beautiful way to express what it means to serve others. And I asked Julian if he had any examples of what that looked like in his lived experience. He reflected on his experience as a member of the state champion football team. I'm not the most gifted athlete, he laughed, but I knew that I wanted to make an impact on the team that had given me so much. One way I could impact the team was by engaging in Mass, doing the readings, serving as a Eucharistic minister. Mass before games was incredibly powerful because of the connection with my brothers and connected through a shared faith and mission. As Julian and I reflected on his 4 years at St. Edward, the word persistence and the importance of being persistent continued to be a theme throughout the conversation. It takes an extra gear, likely extra gears, to do what he does daily. But he told me any sacrifices that he's made have been worth it. Because in his own words, everything I do, every single day, is done with passion and love. God has given me a gift of patience and the knowledge that if I live my life for others and with others, everything will be okay.
This dude has been the most sincere guy that I've known throughout my entire life.
And to be real honest with you, some kids will say they're going to do something, but he's the kid that showed up, and he's the one that was actually continuing to give to his classmates on a pretty regular basis.
But Julian is a kind of guy who is there no matter what's going on in your life, no matter the situation. He's there, he's present in your life, and I praise him for that. And he's just always there when I need him.
I like to think that I'm making a difference and helping people realize things about themselves they never realized. As his parents reflected, he knows that his life is made easier by God and all his gifts come from him. I believe that this has made him humble and grateful for everything he's been given. He truly believes that a life of service is a life well lived. Julian reflected on his persistence in the classroom as well. A smile spread across his face when he reflected on finally deciding to pursue the International Baccalaureate diploma during his sophomore year. People didn't think I could do it, he told me, but I knew I could. His parents, of course, knew that he would pursue the IB diploma and that he would flourish, and reflected that the St. Ed's IB program has provided Julian with the challenges he requires academically and combined it with his preferred way of learning. We really saw what he can do once he's challenged in a way that works for him, and it's been awe-inspiring. We could not be prouder. Reflecting on Julian's experience at St. Edward, his father, Chris, told me, Julian came into St. Ed's with the goals of doing well academically, preparing for college, strengthening his faith, winning a football state championship, and most of all, being a true Edsman. He succeeded beyond my wildest expectations, and for that, we are beyond grateful. Julian Houck's presence at St. Edward High School has been profoundly impactful, both for him and for those fortunate enough to journey alongside him. As an Edsman, Julian embodies the spirit of faith, service, and leadership, consistently placing others before himself and striving for excellence in every facet of his life. Julian's approach to life, marked by steadfast persistence and a genuine love for others, has been a reminder of the transformative power inherent in living your life as a person with hope to bring. His journey through St. Edward has not only shaped him into a leader, but also enriched the lives of all he's touched. Julian will attend the University of Kentucky next year, where he plans to study medicine and work towards a goal of being a pediatric orthopedic surgeon. Congratulations, Julian.
So if I fly too far.
Showing up every day, no matter the odds, no matter how you feel. Every day, day in and day out. As Coach Urbis says, the best ability is availability. For not missing a single day over their 4 years at St. Ed's, which is over 500 school days, it is my pleasure to present Perfect Attendance Awards to Scott O'Neill and John Haig. I would now like to introduce Mr. Michael Perrins.
Model United Nations is a thriving academic co-curricular activity which promotes global awareness and international understanding and which develops important key life skills. Our St. Ed's MUN program continues to thrive and grow, and despite the challenges we faced this past year, we still managed to participate fully in 2 local conferences and 2 international conferences, in addition to staging our own Kleeman conference here on campus in February, which attracted a record number of just over 300 delegates from across Northeast Ohio and our fellow Holy Cross School in Santiago in Chile. Nurturing and developing student leadership is another key part of MUN, and we were blessed with an extraordinary student leader who shouldered the dual role of Secretary General of our Kleeman Conference and being the student president of our St. Ed's training program. That young man is Lucas Kuchera, who is the most worthy recipient of the Model UN Senior Gavel Award. Congratulations, Lucas. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce our physics teacher and science chair, Ms. Holly McTurnan.
That's quite a step. So I'm going to introduce the Eagle Study Tutor of the Year Award. And I need to give just a brief preface because we had an amazing number of very dedicated tutors who showed up time after time. But 2 young men showed up after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the entire year. And they stayed long, even though I knew for a fact that they had work that they needed to be doing. Sometimes they would stay after and ask me for help with that work after they'd already helped other people. What was also remarkable about that was that they would be the first people in the room to walk over to the students who really, really needed their help. And so for this reason, for their helping students in great need with incredible kindness and incredible patience, the recipients of the Eagle Study Tutors of the Year Award are Michael Fink and Isaac Jameson. And I want to thank you.
Tonight, we are proud to honor a group of students who have demonstrated exceptional leadership, commitment, and courage. Achieving the rank of Eagle Scout is no small feat. It represents years of dedication, numerous challenging projects, and a steadfast commitment to community service. These young Eagles have not only achieved Scouting's highest rank, but have also set a high standard of excellence and character that inspires us all. These double Eagles will receive cords to go with their cap and gown, as well as get their name etched in our double Eagles plaque in the school. Please come forward when your name is called. Carson Bowman. Christian Brequet. Francisco Carney. Benjamin Chillick. John Haig. Nathan Johnson. Justin Kenny. Ryan Mars. Miles McLaughlin. Andrew McMacken. Brandon Reed. Ben Roebuck. Andrew Smith. And Alex Temple. Congratulations to all our double Eagles. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Owen Williams back to the stage to introduce our next Man of the Year candidate, Nathan Johnson.
It's my honor to introduce Nathan Charles Johnson, son of Christina and Ben, proud older brother of Adam and Audra, Kairos leader extraordinaire, I think he led like 3 or 4 Kairoses, future Dayton Flyer, fellow Holy Trinity Eagle, scholar, athlete, servant leader, a loyal friend to many present here and elsewhere, and most importantly, beloved child of God. Nate has been an amazing gift to the St. Edward community. He is an Edsman, a hope bringer of the highest caliber. Please enjoy this short film that documents Nate's extraordinary St. Edward life.
Nate Johnson's St. Edward story begins during his Edsman for a Day visit as an 8th grader. Undecided on high school up to that point, Nate was open to the movement of the Spirit as he made his high school decision. That day, Nate felt a deep connection to the St. Edward Brotherhood. He felt seen, heard, and valued in our community. Since then, Nate Johnson has been a St. Edward life force, embracing the pillars of faith, excellence, relationships, and servant leadership in all that he does. Nate's phenomenal impact on the St. Edward community runs deep. He has embraced every moment, every opportunity, every struggle, and every triumph. Nate brings Father Moreau's vision for Holy Cross education to life in all that he does. He is a resurrection man who brings the joy of Jesus' victory over death to all that he encounters and in all that he does. Simply by entering into the mission of St. Ed's on his own uniquely beautiful way, Nate has inspired many, including me, to more fully realize what it means to be an Edsman. Nate's younger brother, Ben, a member of the St. Edward class of 2027, writes, "I wanted to follow in his footsteps when it came time for me to choose my high school. I chose to attend St. Edward High School for the brotherhood, athletics, and my family connections through Nate. The school was just right for my brother and I. Nate is an amazing brother, son, man, and embodies what it means to be an Edsman." Mr. Cavali's freshman Latin class baptized Nate into high school academics. He recalls Mr. Cavali challenging him to reach his fullest potential in the classroom while being one of the kindest souls he's ever met. As he's grown as a student leader, Mr. Merriman, Mr. McPartland, and Mr. Linville have been essential to Nate's St. Ed's experience. He credits them and the whole faculty with giving Nate the space to become himself. Completing the extended essay, TOK, talks after theology class, and retreats are some of the most formative moments of his life at St. Edward. Nate's mom says, "Nate's academic prowess in the classroom is an intrinsic motivation. He has always had a love for learning and has very high standards for himself, never backing down from a challenge and working through tough situations with stamina and perseverance. An example would be 9th and 10th grade Latin class. It was sometimes a thorn in his side, but he did not quit or change languages. He persevered and found joy in the struggle." Nate fully embodies Pope Francis's call for us to be people of authentic encounter and joy. In 4 years, I have never had an interaction with Nate that did not lead me to joy. Close friend and classmate Gavin McLaughlin says, "Nate is one of the most down-to-earth and humble people I know. He brings people together and is always building bridges between groups." Close friend and classmate Nathan Mosgras says, "Nate is inviting, welcoming, and draws people into relationship. Drawing friends and classmates into Kairos, or even for an early morning coffee at Rising Star, are two simple ways in which Nate seeks to be a person of authentic encounter."
Nate and I always go to Rising Star, like for first period study hall. He's addicted to that place. But Nate and I really met him through theology last year. And the biggest thing that I learned about him is he's so inviting. And I know it's kind of silly, he invited me to go to a coffee shop. I got to really know Nate better and grow connections with some of his friends too.
When I see Nate with his friends, I see a young man who cares deeply about the well-being of others. Director of Campus Ministry, Mr. Linville, says, "Nate is always a guy who will bring a smile to your face."
Every single time he'd walk in, he'd be like, "Who wants to chell, bro? Everyone's chelling. Who's chelling?" So that's the one thing that always brought a lot of joy for me, because he'd always be like, "Who's chelling? Who wants to chell, bro?" And that means NHL. Who wants to play NHL on the Xbox? So it's a really funny little bit with him that he'd always come in.
He's just happy to be around, and seeing him in the halls, he's always got that smile, always willing to help if you ever need any help.
Even as he navigates some of the inherent hardships of being a teenager in today's world, Nate is fully present for his Edsman brothers. Nate reminds me that education is joyful work of the resurrection, and every encounter I have with him leads me to a greater understanding of and appreciation for our shared work as Holy Cross educators.
He's allowed me to get out of my comfort zone in so many things, and just not take everything so seriously, which is something I really needed to work on as a person. he always says to me, he's like, he'll go, bro, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But now, like, I almost say that to myself 20, 25 times a day, not taking everything so seriously and just being able to like enjoy life and like being with other people. He's kind of like helped me realize that in my last couple of years here.
I think some of the ways that he connects with people comes from knowing himself. In his life, he's gone through some experiences that have like taught him sort of like what matters and what doesn't matter and where he needs to stress and where he needs to not stress. So he does, I think that's added to like the grounded quality that I think Nate really has.
When asked about some of the most important lessons he's learned at St. Ed's, Nate doesn't point to a high GPA, getting into the college of his choice, or any majorly outward achievement. Nate talks about the relationships he's built, the ordinary moments of grace and encounter, and even the moments of hardship as being most formative.
Your talent is important, your ideas are important, but the thing that's going to matter the most outside of school and in life is just that you're kind to other people. Nate is like the exemplar of that for me in this class, and I'm so happy that they're recognizing him.
Nate speaks of St. Edward as the place where he learned to fully inhabit the truth of who he is, and he goes forth with the competence to see and the courage to act for justice, love, and peace. Being at St. Ed's has helped Nate Johnson to become Nate Johnson. I can't think of a more beautiful reflection on our Holy Cross mission than that. Nate is a person of deep faith. He takes seriously what Jesus took seriously: inclusion, compassion, tender love, and acceptance. Nate's mom says, Nate's faith-filled journey began at a young age. When Nate attended Kairos last year as a junior, he came home telling me that it was one of the best experiences of his life, and he wanted to be a leader on Kairos for his senior year. This year, as a senior, he came back and said Kairos was just as profound as last year. Being a part of campus ministry has enriched Nate's high school experience in so many ways. One way was him deciding to become a Eucharistic minister this year. Nate is always thinking of additional ways to become more involved in serving the Lord and giving back to his community. He reads scripture every night before bed, and when his friend Caleb was in the hospital, Nate asked the family and friends who were there to join hands and pray. Throughout his 4 years at St. Ed's, Nate has appreciated opportunities to take ownership of his faith. Retreats like Kairos, setting up for Mass, and daily moments of encounter like Faith Friday or hanging out in campus ministry have given Nate the space to develop a mature spirituality and a deep relationship with the living God. Nate credits his experience of setting up for Mass as a student minister as helping him to more fully realize the sacramental significance of the Eucharist, giving him the eyes to see the grace in and through all things. Nate is a servant leader. Nate's mom continues, he cares about people's feelings, and that is expressed in his interactions with them. He always says, "Thank you, Mom, for dinner," and never goes to bed without saying, "Good night and love you." He has an innate way of comforting others and showing love and compassion. For Nate, service to others is not simply about unilateral charity, it is about solidarity, building relationships with neighbors on the margins so that those margins cease to exist. Nate embraces this year's theme. He is always seeking to be with and of those who have been too quickly cast aside in our society. As the Holy Cross Constitutions say, Nate comes not just as a servant, but as a neighbor, knowing that there is much to learn from every encounter, every relationship, every person. Small gestures of authentic presence are a hallmark of Nate's personhood. A hallway hello, a quick smile, or a check-in with a friend are daily aspects of Nate's life. Nate has been a shining beacon of hope and joy and love for me. In so many ways, he's reminded me of why I became an educator, to learn from and be inspired by people like Nate. I am deeply grateful beyond words for the opportunity to have been a part of Nate's St. Edward journey. Nate, you belong everywhere, and you are going to be a deep source of hope and joy for so many people as you move into the rest of your life. This community loves you. Thank you for everything.
It's my pleasure now to present the awards for the Mathematics Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front and hold for applause until all students are called. For the Trig and Math Topics Student of the Year, Scott O'Neill. For IB Mathematics Applications and Interpretations, SL Student of the Year, Matt Doherty. And for IB Mathematics Analysis and Approaches, HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Gavin McLaughlin. The 2023-24 Mathematics Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the English Department, Mr. Andrew Allen.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present the awards for the English Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For English 4 Student of the Year, Lucas Bober. For IB Literature HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Benji Wynn. And for IB Language and Literature HL Student of the Year, Henry Slavey. The 23-24 English Students of the Year. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Language Acquisition Department, Mrs. Sherry Quinn.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Language Acquisition Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For IB French SL Year 2 Student of the Year, and for receiving an honorable mention on the National French Exam, Lucas Kuchera. For IB Latin SL Year 2 Student of the Year, Benji Wynn. For IB SL Spanish Year 2 Student of the Year, Nathan Masgras. For the Language Ambassador Student of the Year, Isaac Jamison. For decades, shepherding students through the National Latin Exam was a deep source of pride for Mr. Daniel Cavali. The NLE is a test given annually to Latin students across the United States and around the world. Depending on their scores, students may earn certificates, medals, and may even qualify for scholarships. It is with the same pride that Mr. Cavali would provide that we recognize the following students, scoring cum laude, Raymond Weber, Matt Doherty, and Andrew L. Turk. And scoring magna cum laude, Benji Wynn. The 2023-2024 Language Acquisition Students of the Year. It is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Social Studies Department, Mrs. Suzanne Fairfield.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Social Studies Students of the Year. And as your names are being called, please come to the front. For American Government Student of the Year, Lucas Bober. For AP United States Government and Politics Student of the Year, Matt Dougherty. For IB Psychology SL Student of the Year, Spencer Johnson. And for the IB History of the Americas 20th Century World History HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Luke Shearer. The 2023-2024 Social Studies Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Phil Singh to present the awards for the Business and Entrepreneurship Department.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Business and Entrepreneurship Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Economics Student of the Year, James Hyduk. For Advanced Corporate and Personal Finance Student of the Year, Anthony Kulach. For AP Microeconomics Student of the Year, Raymond Weber. For AP Macroeconomics Student of the Year, Adam Cabrera. For IB Business Management SL Student of the Year, Colin Dedo. For IB Business Management HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Lucas Cachera. And for the Ken Layden Entrepreneurship Prize for the 2023-2024 school year, Austin Zaremba. The 2023-2024 Business and Entrepreneurship Students of the Year. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Richard Rupanovich to present the awards for the Engineering and Computer Science Department.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Engineering and Computer Science Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Intermediate Engineering 2 Student of the Year, Scott O'Neill. For Advanced Engineering 1 and Advanced Engineering 2 Student of the Year, Ryan Kolka. For IB Computer Science SL Student of the Year, Benjamin Wynn. And for IB Design Technology HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Thomas Bell. The 2023-2024 Engineering and Computer Science Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Science Department, Ms. Holly McTurnan.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Science Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Anatomy and Physiology, and also for Sports Medicine, Student of the Year, Henry Slaby. For IB Chemistry, Student of the Year, Min-Jun Kim. For IB Physics Standard Level, Year 2, Student of the Year, Vincent Davis. For IB Physics High Level, Year 2, Student of the Year, John Mendoza. The 2023-2024 Science Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of our film department, Ms. Lydia Munnell.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present the awards for the Film Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Sports Documentary Student of the Year, Sean Taylor. And for IB Film HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Gabo Filori. The 2023-2024 Film Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Fine Arts Department, Mrs. Molly King.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Fine Arts Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Beginning Pottery and Sculpture Student of the Year, Sean Dabidine. For Advanced Pottery Student of the Year, Rasheed McLaurin. Where is she? For Advanced Sculpture Student of the Year, Lucas Tresca. Takes a lot of hard work to do that amount of work that he did. For Advanced Sports Arts Student of the Year, George Lothick. For Painting Student of the Year, Adam Dempsey. The 2023 to 2024 Fine Arts Students of the Year. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Performing Arts Department, Mr. David Michaels.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present the awards for the Performing Arts Students of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. For Concert Band Student of the Year, Ryan Kulka. And for Technical Theater Student of the Year, Brandon Reed. The 2023-2024 Performing Arts Students of the Year. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Theology Department, Mr. Chris Merriman.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Theology Student of the Year, as well as the Year 2 Theory of Knowledge Student of the Year. As your names are called, please come to the front. Our two Theology Grade 12 Students of the Year who were nominated by Mrs. LHS and Mr. Williams are Julian H and Adam Cavali. And our Theory of Knowledge Year 2 Student of the Year is Vincent Davis. Class of 24 Theology and Theory of Knowledge Students of the Year.
Before we move forward to the next man, okay. All right. So now before we move forward, it's all, the Flower Fall, stage 3. All right, so before we move forward to the next Man of the Year nominee, I would like to call to the stage Kay Driscoll. And I would also like to call to the stage Major Alonzo Windler.
You don't mind just
The Army ROTC program provides more college scholarships than any other program in America. With merit-based benefits across the nation, Army ROTC is the single largest provider of scholarships, paying over $3 million just this year. On an annual basis, around 15,000 high school seniors apply for the Army ROTC scholarship, of which 3,000 are selected to receive either a 3 or 4 year scholarship offer. So what does an average national winner look like? The Army looks for candidates of exceptional character, candidates who are scholars, possessing an average of 3.6 GPA, a 1200 SAT score, candidates who are members of the National Honor Society. The Army is looking for athletes, those who thrive in a team atmosphere, those who letter in varsity sports, and candidates who are leaders. Those who are members of the student council, leaders in the local community, shift supervisors, team captains, and Eagle Scouts. So why are we here today? We are here to recognize Cade Driscoll. who was conditionally selected to receive an Army ROTC scholarship. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Cade was a high school football state champion, wrestling state champion, and was captain of the lacrosse team. He was the National High School Honor Society and volunteered for his time working part-time in school. Those who participate in Army ROTC will serve in leadership positions throughout their tenure, developing skills that will last a lifetime. So what are the benefits? While in college, an Army ROTC scholarship provides full tuition, an allowance for textbooks, school supplies, and a stipend of $420 a month. It also provides opportunities to attend various Army schools, opportunities to travel to far-reaching parts of the world, and immersion experiences in different cultures, and opportunities to serve in internships and other cadet corps at major businesses and agencies throughout the government. After college, a new second lieutenant in the Army has either a full-time or part-time job, often with responsibilities that far exceed those of most new college graduates. On active duty, lieutenants receive a starting salary of $55,000 a year, housing and food allowance, full medical coverage, and 30 days of paid vacation. There are truly few opportunities of this magnitude that exist for graduating seniors. Cade Driscoll has chosen to use his offer to attend Mercyhurst University. So what is the total value of this? The scholarship benefits package includes full tuition and fees, $45,000 for 3 years, a book allowance of $1,200 annually for 3 years, a monthly stipend or paychecks of $420 a month, monthly, and Mercyhurst University awards room and board to all ROTC scholarship winners, valuing at over $15,000 for 4 years. All of this comes to a grand total of $215,542. So, thank you. Also, this little certificate to you too. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, I would like to call Coach Eric Flannery to introduce the next Man of the Year candidate, Joey Scarpetti.
I'm a little upset that my two sons who graduated from here did not enter the ROTC. Congratulations, Kate. It is truly my honor to introduce Joey Scarpetti, the son of Nancy and Joe, the very proud young brother of Maria and Sarah, a National Honor Society member, student council member, captain of the basketball team, student ambassador, and these are just a few of his many accomplishments. Joey is a true Edsman. He will be attending the College of Charleston next year. Please enjoy this short film that documents Joey's St. Edward life.
It is with great distinction that I introduce Joey Scarpetti, the son of Nancy and Joe.
younger brother to Maria and Sarah. In our profession of teaching and coaching, we often find ourselves working with families and students whom have developed a great bond and relationship with. We would consider them to be a large part of our family. It is not often that you actually have a student or player who you have known their entire life and are closer to them than your own family. This would describe my relationship with Joey and the Scarpetti family. Mr. and Mrs. Scarpetti have been great friends for over 15 years. Coach Scarpetti has also been an assistant on our basketball staff for those 15 years. We have seen each other's children go from toddlers into grown adults. It is an honor for me to be able to speak on behalf of Joey Scarpetti, who is as close to a son that a coach could have. I remember Joey being on the bench as a 5-year-old, filling water bottles, gazing into the huddles, helping with anything he could, thinking to myself that I could not wait to coach him. He is a true St. Edward Eagle, wearing the jerseys his entire life, attending every basketball game, camp, or event he possibly could, and then seeing his excitement when he was an 8th grader and about to enter our campus officially. That wide-eyed young man was ready to make a difference and put his stamp on St. Ed's. And boy, did he ever. Joey has been the perfect example of how you go about living the 4 pillars of our Holy Cross mission. Joey's faith is demonstrated constantly and instilled by his parents. He is a regular attendee at Sunday Mass, a Eucharistic minister, and was the student ministry chair that planned and organized Faith Fridays here at school. His faith is mostly demonstrated by the way he treats others and trusts in his coaches, his teachers, and his teammates, which led him to being our assist leader on the basketball team this past year. He has always had faith in others. As a servant leader, Joey has assisted in serving the homeless in the Library Ministry, was on the IB Leadership Council both his junior and senior year, was a student ambassador, one of the best tour guides we have ever seen. And most importantly, as shown by his peers, Joey was voted on to student council and the varsity basketball team captain. When your fellow classmates and teammates vote you into these roles, you know you are a leader. However, the best and most lasting image for me is seeing Joey in the middle of our student sections, in full Eagle gear, leading cheers and getting his fellow classmates involved in the games. The true picture of a leader.
So I remember being at a home football game this fall and looking over at the student section, and there's Joey with his back to the field, like pressed up against the railing, and he is managing the entire student section, right? He's conducting the student section, and when he motions for them to scream and be crazy, they're crazy and they scream. When the band comes on at halftime, he makes a motion for them to be quiet, and they're silent and they listen to the band perform until he tells them that it's time to cheer. And I thought, holy mackerel, like the respect that he commands from his classmates is like something I've never seen. And that's not an elected role, right? You don't have elections for like student section leader. It's something that like organically happens because he really embodies our theme. I mean, he is with them and of them.
The third pillar, excellence, speaks for itself. National Honor Society, Student Council, 4.5 GPA, Forward Scholars Award, Honor Algebra 2 Student of the Year, Honors Spanish 2 and IB Student of the Year, St. Michael's Book Award, and being a Man of the Year nominee. The final pillar is relationships. I can only speak from personal experience. You will have a hard time finding a young man who is more personable, outgoing, caring, and friendly as Joey. I gave him the nickname Giggles this past year because every time Joey tells a story, you will hear him giggling while telling it. He has a hard time keeping a straight face, and yet an easiness about him that makes you feel good to laugh and enjoy his company. He has made many great impressions both on older alumni, current faculty and staff, and the future Eagles of tomorrow.
I think of all of those pillars and I think of Joey, honestly. He's so selfless and he just wants to help and he just loves St. Ed so much that like I just remember it struck me so much because I knew him, I thought he was great. But I remember just like seeing him over and I was like, okay, this kid is special and he really truly loves this place.
Through his faith, leadership, excellence, and relationships, Joey Scarpetti is going to be a huge success in life. He is one of the best examples I have seen of what it means to be an Edsman. And this is why Joey Scarpetti is deserved to be called the St. Edward Man of the Year.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Linville, the Director of Campus Ministry, here with Emily McGee, the Director of Service and Mission, or Service Projects. So I have the honor to do the award for the Father Patrick Payton CSC Award. It's given to a senior who has gone above and beyond during his entire 4 years to help our school grow in our Catholic identity and values, especially connected to prayer. Father Payton was a Holy Cross priest who championed the importance of praying together in community, particularly in families. He was a tireless supporter of praying the rosary, especially family praying together. This year, the award is presented to a senior for his work providing opportunities for students from across grade levels to encounter and experience their faith. Congratulations this year's recipient for the Father Patrick Payton CSC Award, Alex Temple.
The Community Service Award goes to a senior who exceeded his annual service hours, giving back his time and effort through service year-round. He served with joy, humility, and without reservation, providing exceptional service reflections about his experiences and outstanding communication throughout the program. Congratulations and thank you to Sean Church.
The Liturgy and Prayer Award goes to 4 seniors who created and led a variety of opportunities for students from all grade levels to encounter God and build community in new ways. Thank you for your commitment to helping all students find ways to encounter God wherever they are in their faith journey. Congratulations to Nate Johnson, Henry Slaby, Owen Schultz, and Julian H. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Matt Wallenhorst.
Developing students, not just in the classroom, but throughout all their endeavors is something that we strive to do here at St. Ed's. I often think of it as more of an experience than simply an education. The largest part of that is the building of relationships from student to student, student to adult, and eventually adult to adult as our seniors graduate. Those bonds created cannot be faked. They need to happen genuinely. Student life happens at any high school, but it is only through student leadership that Edsman can foster an environment that allows the rest to flourish. Sacrificing time, energy, and effort so that their fellow classmates can have social events, come together to support one another on an athletic field, or showing up to applaud them on stage, student leaders work for others and for the good of the whole. For the past 4 years, Joey Scarpetti has shown outstanding student leadership and a commitment to a vibrant student life, and I am pleased to present the Student Life and Leadership Award to him. Congratulations, Joey. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Director of Admission, the other Mr. Wallenhorst.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenhorst.
The St. Brother Andre Bissett CSC Award is presented to seniors who go above and beyond in living the Holy Cross charism of hospitality during their 4 years at St. Edward High School. Over the course of their 4 years, these two young men have time and time again stepped up to support St. Ed's. Through countless events, open houses, the Wings auction, scholarship ceremonies for incoming freshmen, and of course our Edsman for a Day program, these two selfless individuals have given countless hours living out the Holy Cross charism of hospitality while welcoming students and families into the St. Edward community. It is my honor to announce the recipients of the St. Brother Andre Bissett CSC Awards are Aiden Bruder and Joey Scarpetti. It's my pleasure to call to the podium Mrs. Suzanne Fairfield, who will introduce our next Man of the Year nominee, Jaden Williams.
It is my honor and privilege this evening to introduce you to Jaden Williams, son of Nicole and Kevin, a loving grandson and nephew, a loyal friend to his Edsman brothers, a Christ-like servant leader, a captain, a preacher, a future Buckeye, and most importantly, an agent of change. Jaden, it is your strong character, your unwavering ethos, and your limitless capacity to love that has moved our hearts for these last 4 years. You have taught us to walk intentionally with our brothers and sisters, to find true joy in God's precious moments, and to love unconditionally. May all bear witness to the indelible mark that you have left here on the St. Edward community. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to turn your attention to a short film, I give you Jaden Williams. When Jaden Williams entered the halls of St. Edward High School 4 years ago, he did so with an ambitious temperament and an insatiable hunger to achieve excellence. He was determined to take in all that this institution had to offer. It meant that there were sacrifices that had to be made, and that he had to demonstrate an unmeasurable perseverance, even in the face of adversity and challenges. He was motivated by knowing that if he wasn't working to the best of his ability, there would be others working harder than he was. And thus he continued to demand of himself to do better and to be better. He's been described by his peers as a humble giant, continually striving for excellence while always being rooted in his modesty.
I remember saying hey, I'm having a bad day. I don't feel like doing this, because he could tell that something was up and I wasn't giving 100%. And I remember him saying that not every day does he feel like doing all the things he has to do. Being disciplined is something that separates the good from the great. And he told me, just know that whenever I'm slacking, he's always working. And so we kind of started a little thing where anytime one of us would be doing extra work on the field or in the gym, we would call one another and we'd remind each other and kind of encourage the other person to get up and go do something. So we kind of started a friendly competition. And I think that shows how he's very encouraging and motivating, and he brings others up around him, and he kind of showed me what it means to be a leader.
He struck a delicate balance between his ambition and his commitment to authentic relationships and his unwavering faith. He realizes being a leader isn't just a title or having authority, but rather it's about showing up. It's about demonstrating tenacity and grit, even when one is struggling with their own circumstances. It's about being unapologetically authentic, no matter the audience. And most importantly, is about demonstrating humanity to all those you encounter. Jaden is essentially all of those tenets of leadership. Though he could have cowered when he was summoned to lead, he chose to put others' needs before his own. A perfect example of this was when he sustained a rather major injury this winter. Instead of disappearing from the rugby pitch to nurse his injury, Jaden, as captain, stood through the cold and the howling winds to coach and mentor the younger players. He reminds us through his daily actions that we are worthy. Why? Because he shows up. Galatians states, serve one another in love. Jaden lives every day emulating God's love for us. In the sacred tapestry of brotherhood, Jaden's love knows no bounds. He serves his peers with unwavering devotion, offering both hope and constructive challenge. He embraces his brothers no matter where they are on their journey and willingly walks by their side. In doing so, he extends not only his hand, but also his heart.
We spend a lot of time at St. Ed's trying to lift each other up, and we have all these aspirational goals. And Jaden is such an inspiration to me because I know how much effort goes into living the way he lives, but he makes it seem so effortless. He does all of it with this huge heart and sense of humor and sense of fun. And he's such a role model, and he's been a role model to me for the 4 years that he's been at St. Ed's.
What humbles those of us who have bore witness to these acts of kindness is his remarkable demonstration of empathy and compassion as he provides hope to those who seek his counsel.
Well, obviously Jay was like a brother to me. We really got close when we both decided to be a part of the IB diploma program. And from that, I would say my biggest takeaway from Jay Will and our relationship is accountability. Sometimes you just need a friend or a brother that will always just tell you when either you're slacking or you're doing good. Just give you be that person to always be in your ear to just keep you focused and keep a strong mindset throughout whatever you're going through.
At the heart of Jaden's journey as an Edsman lies a deep and abiding faith, a faith that transcends words and finds expressions in the quiet moments of communication with God. Those of us that have had Jaden have heard his 3 o'clock alarm right at the end of the day. It wasn't until just recently that I learned that alarm was set to remind Jaden every day to take time from the demands of the school day and to sit quietly in the presence of God in our chapel. What a beautiful image. A young man who is willing to quell the noise around him and to sit quietly in prayer and give thanks. Jaden stands firm in his unwavering faith and projects the beautiful relationship he has with God with an audience of thousands of viewers.
How's y'all day going today, man? It's finna get a little bit better with this word. Today we're in John chapter 9, verse 3, and it states, Jesus answered, neither this man nor his parents sinned. He was born blind so that God's works might be revealed in him. And as many of you who know me personally know, I just had a rugby tournament this weekend and I actually just broke my foot. And I was coming back and I was upset that my foot was broke because I'm going to be out for at least 4 weeks, senior season, very disappointed about missing out. And I come back home, it's the end of the night, I read my Bible every night I read my Bible, and I just was not feeling it today. I was not going to read it at all, and then I just felt something like, you know what, I'll just read like one passage, and this was the one passage that I ended up reading. And it's crazy how when I just needed God to speak to me, he like instantly spoke to me.
He challenges us not to miss those sacramental moments right before us and to be where our feet are, and to be present in the moment we're in right now.
I know that he sowed seeds into our freshmen that will continue to walk with them, that will continue to blossom for their 4 years. And the powerful thing about that is that as they grow and they pour into the next class, and the next class is still the impact that Jaden had from that particular freshman retreat that could really go on through St. Ed's forever.
Jaden, in a world that seems to be marked by division and strife, you have shown us the power of empathy, compassion, and understanding.
I will never coach another Jaden Williams because he's a one-of-a-kind kind of lad. And he's got all the potential characteristics, the drive, and discipline. And he is the type of guy that can change the world.
You have taught us to love more deeply and to cherish the beauty and the gift God has bestowed upon us. And finally, you have reminded us that we have the power to change the trajectory of one's direction by the conscious choice we have made to commit selfless acts of love. Thank you.
Love yours. Love yours.
The National Merit Scholarship Program's mission is to recognize and honor the academically talented students of the United States. NMSC accomplishes this mission by conducting nationwide academic scholarship programs. After semifinalists, commended students represent the next 1.5% of the Ohio seniors who took the PSAT and MSQT in October of 2022. Congratulations to the class of 2024 NMSC commended student, Benjamin Nguyen. And next, I would like to bring the principal, Matt Stepnowski, to the stage to present the Phi Beta Kappa Award.
Phi Beta Kappa Award is presented to one student in the graduating class who has demonstrated the highest standards of academic achievement. This year's St. Edward Class of 2024 Phi Beta Kappa Award winner is Benji Nguyen.
Next, I'd like to call up to the stage Mr. Casey McKenna, who will announce our Man of the Year.
Good evening. Congratulations to all of you on an incredible 4 years at St. Ed's. All of the awards tonight have been a testament of your hard work and all that you've contributed to this community, and we are very grateful. I also just want to say thank you to the parents and to the families as well for entrusting your sons to us over the last 4 years and allowing them to enrich our community in such meaningful ways. We are very grateful. Actually, let's give the parents a round of applause. I'd like to invite our 5 Man of the Year nominees up to the front, please. It's a great privilege that I have to be able to announce the winner of tonight's Man of the Year award. And it's also a great privilege to have an office that is right across from the Man of the Year wall that includes the pictures of every Man of the Year winner since the award was started. And so often I will walk outside of my office and there will be people standing there staring at that wall. They might be students. Many of them are prospective students or families when they're coming through to visit at an open house or an Edson for a day visit. And what they're staring at is ultimately the embodiment of our mission. People who have committed themselves to their faith, who have achieved excellence in unique ways, who have demonstrated that relationships are of the utmost importance, and most importantly, young men who have gone out to serve their community, not just when they were at St. Ed's, but as they've gone out to professional careers. And for the 5 of you, we have been so grateful for you to be part of our community and to be the embodiment of those 4 pillars and of our standards of an Edsman. This is one of the closest votes that we've ever had as part of the Man of the Year Award, and you all should be incredibly proud of what you've meant to this community, and we're incredibly proud of you. So without further ado, it is my great privilege to present the 2024 Man of the Year Award to Joey Scarpetti.
I just have a few words. I don't want to keep you guys long. I'm going to try not to get emotional. I don't want to keep you guys long. I'm sorry. I know you guys want to go home. To first, these four, Nate, Julian, Casey, and Jaden, you guys deserve this so much, and I think you guys deserve this more than I do, and I'm inspired by you guys, and to even be in the same category as you four, I'm so blessed to be your friend. So congrats to you guys, and you guys rock. You guys are the best. To my friends, I know you guys are out there. You guys are truly the best friends in the world, and you guys are the lights of my life. You inspire me, support me, bring me so much joy, and you're always there for me. To St. Edward basketball, specifically Coach Flannery and Mrs. Flannery, you guys are lights in my life, and where I am right now and where I'm going in the fall would not be possible without you. So you're like a second dad to me. I'm so eternally grateful for you. To other Ed's coaches, Coach Donnellan, I know you're back there. Coach Campbell, other Coach Flannery, Coach Sweeney, Coach Gallagher, Mr. Kaler, thank you for pushing me, accepting me, embracing me every day. You guys have taught me so much. And to the faculty and staff, I mean, I know the administrators, Mr. McKenna, Mr. Stapp, Mr. Williams, Mr. Wallenhorst, Mr. Tully, you guys always talk about how St. Ed's, the students is what makes St. Ed's. And while I believe this is true, I truly believe that the teachers and administrators are what separates St. Ed's from every other institution. For me, you guys have had an infinite impact on my life and the life of my family. And you guys, the ones that know me pretty well, you guys are not my teachers. You're so much more. You're role models, mentors. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. To my two older sisters, Sarah and Maria, I just want to thank you guys for being best friends. You guys are my role models. And to my mom and dad, you guys are kind of my why, and you guys have kind of always been my reason, and you've provided me with everything and more, and there's just no other two people that I would rather call my parents. And just one last thing is, this award, I don't want this award to be about me, and isn't about me. It's never will be about me. I think everyone in the crowd tonight kind of has their own man of the year, and so do I, to be honest. I think my man of the year for the class of 2024 is all of us. I think we've come so close throughout these past 4 years, and I think our class is defined by family and shared humanity. And there's so many great young men that I'm blessed to call friends. And I love St. Ed's, and this is my favorite place in the world, and I'm just so blessed to be able to get this recognition, so thank you.
Stay here. Let's have one final round of applause for our nominees and for all of you tonight. That concludes our evening. Congratulations to all of you. And again, thank you all, especially parents and families, for giving us the gift of your sons. You guys don't get off the hook, though. You get to come up and lead us in the singing of the alma mater. So if we can have the Man of the Year nominees come and lead us.
Hail to the green and gold, hail our alma mater. Praise her with voices bold, with hearts that never falter. Hail to dear St. Edward High, keep her banners waving. Loyal sons in unity, everlasting praise we sing.
Thank you, boys. I love you guys. Man.